This is Sackheads Radio.
Hey, let me know when we're going live.
We are live as we speak.
Just let me know whenever Sacco's going to play the button.
Just came out of the luncheon with former Secretary of State Condoleeza Rice.
It's not a big deal. Actually, it really is.
It wasn't just like us and her. She actually spoke to the whole
Well, no,
room.
it was us.
We kind of imagined that it was just us.
And there was her, so that is not an inaccurate statement.
This is true.
Listen, let's run with it.
It wasn't solo. What were some of the highlights that you felt? She had some great quotes that I threw up on Twitter during the event while we were covering it. But I know you were the in-depth note taker.
I was. Look, there were was outstanding. She defined what the pursuit of happiness meant,
which was pretty cool.
And she talked about it meant the pursuit of personal fulfillment, and it's it's up to the individual how they achieve that through true liberty. And I thought that was an interesting takeaway. Her really big card that she kind of threw out there was education. And she talked about education, and it wasn't her biggest card, so I don't want to mislead our listeners. But in education, she said that she believed it's the biggest civil rights issue of our time.
Right.
It's the ability for our children to get a quality education. And what she was referring to, she went on to expand a little bit, but she was referring to if it's a shame that she believes she can tell the zip code of a person and whether that child is going to receive a good education or not.
That was frightening. And we know that we've talked about it before. We've talked about education and stuff like that before. But to hear it put in that context was extremely eye-opening, I thought.
It was. And she's a professor at Stanford University here in the Bay Area where we are. And she talked about, listen, if a low-income family cannot afford to get out of the area, that zip code that has the phrasing here, she says, why can we not give that family choice? Why can't we give them a voucher, give them the ability to choose that charter school or that private school?
Yeah.
And so a low-income family, a low-income child is stuck with that low-quality education. That is a civil rights issue. I thought that was a big issue.
I thought so too. The education, as we all know, the education in this country is failing, and we have to have new ideas, and we have to have better ideas. And I thought that was one of the better ideas, and it's not necessarily a new idea, but the context that she forwarded it, I thought that was kind of huge. She also talked about foreign policy. She referenced the reason why we need to take a leadership role as America in the world when it comes time to a conflict, i.e. Russia right now, et cetera, et cetera. And she had a great quote, and I don't remember the exact words, but she essentially said, if we don't do it, it leaves a vacuum. Mm-hmm. And the people who step up at that point would not be the people that we necessarily want leading. It's not necessarily going to be the best and the brightest who are going to take the place of the United States on the foreign policy
No,
stage.
She said we cannot sustain an active foreign policy without a strong military.
Right,
and I believe that's something we tweeted out also that she said.
Well, and that's, especially right now with all the cuts that they're facing, and I don't know if they're going to do it with Russia doing right now or not. I don't know if that's going to be rescinded. But let's face it, it's a humongous cut to our military that's facing in this budget. And, right there, and listen, I have to agree with her. I thought what she said was extremely spot on. You don't have that strong military, and you're not going to have that strong foreign policy because you have nothing to back it up. Like Reagan said, peace through strength, and she repeated that a few times, but there's truth to it. If you can carry that big stick, you can walk softly, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because everyone knows it's there. So you don't have to be a bully, but it gives you that stature because everyone knows you can back it up versus right now, which is all words, no backup.
Well, and here's the thing. Sometimes that big stick gets heavy, right? And we have a country that is war-weary and so forth, so some people are maybe weary of that big military, but look, with everything that's going on in the world, you have to be very, very careful about what you cut. One other thing before we leave our viewers, a quote that she said. She said, "Aggrievement and entitlement are death nails to democracy." So I'd like to leave everybody with that. That was a good quote from Secretary Rice.
I thought that was great. We're going to be doing more feeds through today. We're going to see a couple more things. If you're here at the convention, the GOP 2014 convention, come on down and see us. Record your 30-second message to the GOP or have your pictures taken with the Sackheads. Clint's doing free autographs all day. We'll talk to you in a little bit.